What's up, guys? Camille Zabrowski here from WTI Dental Concepts. This is going to be our first episode of the WTI Academy podcast. And I'm really excited that the first episode is going to be on a technology that's super near and dear to my heart. It's photogrammetry. So for those that maybe don't know, photogrammetry is the best way to capture multi-implant cases. Specifically for full arch, yes, but you can do quadrant dentistry with it as well. So it's not just for full arch, although I gotta be honest, most people do use it for full arch, and it fits into our workflow that we've launched over the years. It's really near and dear to my heart because we brought this technology to the US in 2017, and we've been a very key cog in getting this accepted as a mainstream way to restore full arch implant cases. It really does provide the best way to do it because it's easy, it's quick, it gives us digital feedback back right away so we can manipulate this data. And besides that, it's a leveling technology, right? So there's very few technologies in dental ether that can be done in the same manner, get the same accuracy by somebody that's an expert like myself and have done thousands of cases, or somebody that we're training in one of our 3-day on-site trainings where we sell all of the technology and also come in and do surgeries with you. The client's first go at this will be the exact same quality impression that we'll take. Geez, for that matter, I have a 10-year-old daughter. If I gave her the camera, her first impression would be the same quality as mine. So that's a very unique point of photogrammetry, right? That leveling, that security, that every time you're gonna get a quality impression. So back to the unit that we have here on the desk. This unit is from what we feel is definitely the best photogrammetry system on the market today. It actually has been for the past 3 or 4 years. It's made by a company called IMETRIC. For those that don't know, IMETRIC is a company that's based in Switzerland. So you really get that sense of precision and accuracy and that Swiss-made quality in the product that they have developed. The unit itself is called ICAM 4D. And today, here, we're gonna unbox and utilize the latest ICAM 4D, which is their 4th generation product, which takes a leap forward into this whole photogrammetry craze, right? It is lighter, it is more accurate, it is faster. The older one had a green light, this has a blue light. That blue light then will enable us to do some really cool things in the near future, like utilizing this camera for desktop scanning and possibly some other top secret things down the road. So you'll have to stay tuned over the next months to see as we release more information on the capabilities that come out with future software updates. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we open this up and I'll give you a sneak peek here of what this camera looks like. Every camera, by the way, comes packaged like this, right? So you get a really sturdy OtterBox that protects the whole unit and has inside everything that you might need for the camera to function. It is super easy to travel, so we actually have a lot of our clients that travel with their iCams in between offices. We have a number of clients that are actually traveling surgeons, and so they'll carry all of their equipment for surgical and prost applications with them. So great for travel, but also can be housed here for safekeeping at your clinic if you only have one location. So we definitely always recommend that you leave it in here, avoid from any drops and protect it. But besides that, it can be set up on a nice cart inside the clinic and have it ready for use at any time. So with that said, why don't we get this guy out and we'll set it up and we'll get some scans going, right? Well, I'll talk a little bit about what to do, what not to do. Okay, so let's get into this. We got it all set up. let's cover a few basic things to help you guys have a great experience once you get your ICAM unit, right? Number one, it's fairly simple to set up. We have it set up today on a Microsoft Surface Pro. Normally, we could also put it onto whatever PC you're using for your intraoral scanner or your facial scanner, if you have those. In some cases, we could also put it on desktops that are built into your operatories. So, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help with any integration questions that you might have. Other than that, fairly simple to set up. The one thing you want to make sure you keep in mind is keep this cord in good shape. If you damage this cord, your ICAM, of course, will not connect properly. And so we want to avoid that whenever possible, because if you're going to use it, you probably have a patient in the chair, right? If you're storing it, make sure you have a nice big coil inside that Pelican box that we showed earlier. Keep it from getting kinked in any case, okay? The cord is a self-encompassing connection between the PC, the power cable, and the camera unit, so very simple. You can tell always if you have a Generation 4 unit in your hands or a Generation 3 by the power button, right? This is a new feature that ICAM put in. It used to be on the power cable. Now it's more convenient right at your hands, so you don't have to go find where that splitter or that box is on the floor and kind of get dirty. So super convenient. You will 100% also see that it weighs, about 30% less. So that makes it a lot easier for hand holding and handling around the patient, okay? The system is made up of the camera unit, the software that we'll take a look at in a second, and also the ICAM bodies, which you see right here on this table. The ICAM bodies are these little black things that get screwed on to your MUAs, right? Multi-unit abutments. They come with different screws, so whenever you're purchasing your ICAM 4D, let us know what screws or what implant type you are using. That way we can make sure that you get the right components for your system. And these guys are essential to the function of your system. So you really want to make sure you take care of them. Taking care of them is actually really simple because they are the only photogrammetry unit markers or scan bodies, if you will, that are metal. Every other system in the market has plastic ones. And so because they're metal, they can be autoclaved and you can rest assured that nothing is gonna degrade or have some type of fit problem or accuracy problem due to the heat of your autoclave, right? The one thing you want to make sure you never put these guys into any cavicide, any acid, cold sterile, stuff like that. That can actually eat away at the coating that's on the top and degrade the life of your ICAM bodies. Besides that, these guys will last a whole lot of time. There is an official usage for them, but if you take care of them really well, maybe you can get a little bit more extended life out of them. The one thing also that you see right here is the calibration plate. Because of the Swiss approach to technology that ICAM 4D has, it really wants to verify that your camera system is working properly before you take the most important step of your process, right? And that's, again, the implant impression. So we will do a quick calibration of the system before we take the scan. Now you might say, how come we need to calibrate before every scan? Well, look, temperatures change. You might have knocked something in the system. There might be lighting that's changing the effects in your operatory. Maybe you took one measurement in the morning and there was no direct light and you're taking another one in the afternoon. So calibration is a system check, right? If the system checks out well, then you know you got a proper scan and you can go on with your process, okay? So why don't we give this thing a test drive, okay? I have set up on the software our 6-unit case, okay? So we're gonna pretend that this is our patient right here. And I do have to, when I kick it into scan mode, by the way, just real quick about the software, there's multiple ways you can use the software. On one side, you can use it simply for acquiring of your implant positioning and get that part into a design software like ExoCAD or 3Shape and get into design. Or you can go and utilize the full extent of this software and do your mesh alignments and get all of your data preparation done inside of the software, and then export out of it everything ready for design to be imported into those softwares. So there's two different approaches to this. You know, we actually teach both and have some libraries and things of that nature that go along with either approach. So if you're interested about more info on that, check out our website, wtidental.com. Up there, we have Academy courses that will be popped on. And if you don't see a course that you're interested about, just shoot us a quick email at customer.care@wtidental.com. We'll have those also in the descriptions below. So if you have any more information, shoot us, and we're happy to shoot us an email, and we're happy to help out. Back to the software, though. I'm going to use it in the simple format, okay? We're just going to do an implant measurement of our patient here that's being super cooperative on the table. And it's going to be a 6-unit case. So all I have to do to start the system is give it a client name, which you see on here, and mark approximate location of the teeth positions. So I marked 3, 5, 7, 10, 12, and 14. And at that point, we have enough to have our camera on, click our ICAM body button. Now we get a live feed. So I will tell you the other really big change that we saw, and I don't know if you guys could pick this up in there, but you see that the light is blue. This is one of the upgrades of the Generation 4, right? The Generation 3 had a green light. So this blue is a key ingredient in the redesigning of the system and future function, right? The first use that we have had announced is that this will also be a desktop scanning device. So it's going to allow us to take impressions, take scans of an impression outside the mouth, of a model, things of that nature, possibly other things in the near future, right? So we have our calibration plate here. I'm going to go in and I'm going to quickly calibrate this bad boy simply by slowly coming in on this, and boom. So we're calibrated. You can see that calibration, super simple, super easy. Okay, and then as I come over, I'm going to start on one side of the patient. Usually my preference is on the right side. I'm going to get it in the mix, and then slowly I'm going to maneuver, capturing the rest of my ICAM bodies. And by the way, everything turned green on the screen, meaning I've gotten enough information, but this is a statistical measurement, right? So there's a mathematical equation that's taking these photos and giving us our 5-6 micron accuracy. So ideally, we want to get up to over 50 views. You see the view counter at the top, and that kind of tells us how many pictures we had. I touched really lightly on this, but again, photogrammetry translates to measurement by photos, right? So we're taking two-dimensional pictures of our ICAM bodies through a mathematical equation. It's going to triangulate the position, and it's going to be a interrelated position in between the implants, right? So let's take a look at the software now and check out what we got from our measurement, right? As you can see here, we have a 3D graphical depiction of our measurement. Now, what we're seeing here are simply the outer shape of the ICAM bodies, right? That's not as useful to us because we're going to need to marry this to something. And in most cases, we marry that to a healing cap geometry, right? ICAM 4D does have their own implant references, like a healing cap-like product, which is here on the table. These are actually the new redesigned ones that are have a kind of matted texture to them that improves intraoral scanning and things of that nature, right? So let's go in here. Let's go ahead and let's swap this out. So again, here you can see what that looks like. But we're going to swap it out and we're going to change it to a Neodent healing cap, which, you know, I got to be honest, a lot of large portion of the market uses this particular healing cap. Although it's not the only one that we can utilize, in reality, we can put in any healing cap, even if it's one that you created yourself. We can create a file and stick it into the whole workflow for you. So it's very customizable. But in this process, I'm going to select the Neodent healing cap. I'm going to click OK here. And then boom, instantly, we have those healing caps on the screen. What's really important is that we understand what photogrammetry does, right? And I've mentioned it a couple times. It's the implant impression, right? So it's inherently not really related to our patient because it's just, you know, if you're looking at the screen, it's just the healing caps in space, right? We don't have soft tissue. We don't have the patient's vertical. We don't have an antagonist. So whatever we select as the healing cap is actually going to be needing an impression in the mouth. So we would then take an impression with these healing caps in the patient's mouth where we use that information to merge these two pieces of data. Now, you might be wondering, like, why are we doing all this, right? Well, photogrammetry is a divide and conquer type of an approach, right? Let's use the best tool for the job. So we use a measurement technology like photogrammetry for the exact position, but then we utilize technologies that are quick and readily available to us for soft tissue, like intraoral scanners or desktop scanners, things of that nature. When we combine these together, we have the most accurate depiction or representation of the patient possible, okay? So with that, we would just simply hit save, and boom, that is our 5-micron cross-arch impression that is verified, which can get shot off to your laboratory, your designer, or your in-house lab for manufacturing. In subsequent videos, what we'll do is we'll take that information and we'll end up going to the next step with it. What happens in 3D printing after that? What happens in design? And we'll explore the future pieces of this process, right? Not so much the future, but I should say the next pieces of this process. It is a symphony of a lot of little pieces. When you string them together in an orchestra, you make beautiful music, and we're gonna really help you kind of put your own symphony together through this podcast. Again, the WTI Academy podcasts. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. And we hope that you come back, you subscribe to our podcast, you click like, you leave a comment, and you help interact with the community that's out there, because there's a lot of great information and we're just here to help share and teach about it. Thanks a lot.